5:30, we'll call the meeting to order. Would you please stand? And we'll honor the United States flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now the Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. Would you bow your head? Lord, we come to you tonight thankful for all of the blessings that we received. We thank you for this district, for the teachers, the parents, the students, and all of the successes, especially those that we're honoring tonight. May this holiday season be special to all. May we all have the love of Christ in our hearts. In your name we pray. Amen. Amen.
Well, we will start tonight, I think, with the staff spotlight, because some of the students are still dribbling in. And so we've got a really neat couple of guys here tonight, Chris and Jeff, who are new additions to our maintenance department, Christopher James and Jeffrey Alvarez. And what's a strange coincidence is that they both came from Wisconsin at one point. Isn't that ironic? And so they have gotten really used to the Texas heat, though, because they have been doing all of the landscaping. And so, as you all know, we're under a budget crunch, but they've been doing some really cost-effective things to make the place look a lot nicer. So if you see in front of the campuses trees that are now outlined with the curbing and the gravel and all that, or the sunflowers here, or just all the constant weed eating and mowing, these guys have taken the lead on it.
It looks wonderful.
We've had a lot of compliments.
Yes. Yeah. We like cheap improvements too. Budget friendly. Yeah. Now, how long ago was it that you guys were in Wisconsin? And there's no relation. They're just
here.
We are family. They are family. Okay, you are family. So how many years was it since y'all been there?
Wisconsin, 5 months in. So
5 months in.
Being here in Texas.
Wow. Okay.
And we've been here about 5.5 years.
Okay. So I knew there was a gap in the time span. So have you started getting used to the heat yet?
I'm originally from San Antonio.
Okay.
Moved back to Wisconsin when I was a young lad. So
good. Okay. Well, it's working out.
Familiar with it.
Yeah. Well, guys, we've been really impressed. We've got a couple of certificates for you guys, and Pam, if you wouldn't mind taking our picture. Tubby, you come on up too. And we wanted to honor you guys for all of your hard work. It really is looking nice. Jeff, Chris, y'all come on up here. Tubby, you don't get one.
He's responsible for this.
I'll just stand here and hold like a...
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
However you want it.
There we go.
That work?
That's perfect.
It's just him.
Where do we look first?
Got it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good job.
And guys, you can stay for the meeting, but you don't have to.
Thank you. Thank you all for what you do.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys as well.
Let time get away from me. I still like to shave.
All right, Coach Hunter, bring them on in here. So we've had a lot of successful things this fall. Next month we're going to honor band, but this month we're going to honor some of the football guys. In particular, a special subsection of guys, the rushing game.
You face this way.
And so we have lineman and Ray Sean. And so Ray Sean and these guys did something very special over the past 3 years. So Ray Sean's, I'm going to read some of his statistics. He needs to go to college and play football somewhere. He's really talented. So he went into his senior year with 2,795 yards, which already placed him in 4th all time. So he quickly got into 3rd place, and he racked up another 2,172 yards and 29 touchdowns. Coach Hunter gave me some other things here to talk about as far as statistics, but I was watching him in the Waco Tribune-Herald. Most weeks he was the leading rusher in all of Central Texas because he was averaging 164.5 yards a game. That's a lot of yards every game. And so, in summary, Rayshawn was the third person in school history to rush for 1,000 yards for 3 seasons in a row. Third all-time career rushers with 4,967 yards. He was 33 yards away from 5,000. We don't have to get you back in a game or something. Third all-time leader in career rushing touchdowns with 57. Third all-time leader in scoring with 366 points. And the statistic I liked the best was in the Conley game, he carried the ball 46 times.
46 times.
So that was really, he was tired of it at the end of the game. And so, but the group of guys that get very little notoriety, except when they are called for holding, they do get their number announced then, the linemen. And they really did a great job, and it's, the past 3 years worth of linemen have really helped out. But we also faced some really good defenses. And the thing that I like about our guys is how disciplined they are. Coach Hunter, Coach Jacob Hunter, Coach Thornton, very rarely do they get called for holding. Very rarely do they get called for being offsides. Another thing that I'm impressed with about our team is that we play a lot of, unfortunately, dirty teams. Dirty teams. There's no other way to describe it. They say stuff they shouldn't say, they do stuff they shouldn't do, and typically that doesn't help you. That gets you 15-yard penalties a lot. And so that really helped us against some of the teams to beat them. And so I was really proud of our guys for always doing the right thing. Another thing that I like about Rayshawn is that he high-fives his linemen. When the defense is on the field, he brings them water. And so these guys, they've got really good team spirit. And I just wanted to mention some of the things that they have to do. Summer workouts, 2-a-days, 6 a.m. morning workouts, after school practice, Saturday film. And so you do all that, and then sometimes you don't get really any recognition because you're never going to hold the ball. And so think about doing that for 6 years. 6 years. Doing all that sort of stuff. And so we're really proud of them for doing all that. Coach Hunter, did you want to add any?
Yeah, I'd love to. Just about the big boys, they really don't. They don't get a lot of love, and a lot of times they come in their 7th grade year and they want to play tight end and fullback and running back, and we have to kind of hug their neck and say, hey, head on down to the and we have great, like Coach Dr. Pollard said, we have great coaches, Coach Thornton and Coach Hunter, some of the best. But they build relationships, and these guys grow really tight. And it is. It's a really hard job to do. And what people don't realize is they think we just run the ball. We run we run counter, we run buck, we run power toss, but we do it about 7 or 8 different ways depending on the call. And so they got to be really smart. And they did a great job this year. And going back to Rayshawn, a lot of people don't realize this. The second scrimmage of the year, he tore his meniscus. So he's done all this year on a torn meniscus. He's having surgery in 2 weeks. So he's about to go have surgery. He's fought through it all year. But yeah, to hand him the ball and to do what he did in his career he had, if it wasn't for Torian Henderson, obviously, which we all know what he did here, and LaShawn Thayer, Rayshawn would be the top running back to ever come through here in school history. And these guys also were a big part of the 6th best season in school history. First time we've ever made the playoffs 5 years in a row. First time in 25 years we won back-to-back first-round playoff games. A lot of these guys were part of that. So really proud of it.
And I included all the guys that, another hard thing mentally and emotionally is, let's say you do all that 2-day stuff and all that working out, and then you don't play much. Think about all those guys. And that's really tough because you're having to go through you don't get a break from the yelling and the practicing, but you don't get any notoriety. And so I wanted to make sure that we invite, a lot of these guys have to work, and so they're not all here tonight. But we've got certificates for the guys that are here as well, and we'll let Coach Hunter get the ones to the. So Rayshawn, if you'll come on over and get your certificate. All right, Chase Glenn, I didn't see
No,
Chase.
sir.
Caden Kaufman.
He's not here. He had another thing to go to.
Josh Morris.
Not working.
Joe Cox.
I don't know where Joe is. He didn't text me.
Nate Brown.
No, sir.
Logan Turner.
Working.
Working. Hunter Swindle.
Here he is. Here
we go. Brody Brown.
He's here.
Hunter.
Nikki Thomas,
Not here. Wrestling.
wrestling. Jared Burks,
Jared.
Gabriel Pollard,
Big.
Cooper Jones, Tyler Richards,
T-Rick.
Trent Hickman.
Trent Kitten, he couldn't make it tonight.
Okay, all right. Let's get a picture of these guys. And Ray Sean got a really cool football with his likeness imprinted on it. So, good looking deal. We're going to have him sign it, and then we're going to auction it on him.
Gotta show your certificate.
The wide angle lens there. I like that. Are we good?
Yes,
Thank you guys.
Jared Burks. How's your knee?
no surgery.
It's all right. It's coming along.
No surgery, so he's good.
I'm just
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate it.
And the one main thing that these guys do together is they all go out to eat together. They're probably all going somewhere right now. No joke. They really do. Tight-knit group. All right, guys.
Do we have anybody here that wants to make a public comment on an item that's not on the agenda? If not, we'll go to the consent agenda. That will include minutes of November 18th, financial statements as of November 30th, bills and payrolls for November 24th, budget amendments, year-to-date budget amendments, quarterly investment report, vital signs report, food service report. Does any board member want any of those pulled? Do I have a motion to accept them all? Okay. Do I hear a second? Okay, Lloyd seconds. All in favor? Okay, that passes. So now we'll go to info items, and we'll start with new GISD, Employee Food Market.
This thing has been really good.
It has been.
Really, really good. Pam and Michelle did a great job with it.
It's been really exciting. So we had our very first delivery on December 2nd. They came in that Wednesday. We had 6,000 pounds of food delivered. And so we got it all put away, got it all on shelves. We opened that Thursday and Friday, and we had 149 staff members come in. And when we looked at family size that we were working with, that came out to about 668 family members that we reached through that. And then we also we have backpacks that we send home weekly to students that are in need. And so we filled 80 backpacks out of that week too. So much so that we didn't have anything to offer the next week. We had a few canned goods left, not much. And so our next order comes in this Wednesday, and we had such a great response to it that we've had to order more food. So we have 7,000 pounds coming in this Wednesday. And kudos to our culinary class. Miss Tyree and her class that we couldn't have done it without them. They have come in, they have helped us inventory, they've helped us unload, they've helped us sort. She's using it in her lesson plans. And they also took some of the food out of the marketplace and cooked with it. And so there'll be recipe cards this week that the students have done. So we'll be passing those out as they shop this week. So this week we're open Wednesday from 4 to 6, and then Thursday during the day from 8 to 2. So it's been really good. The response has been awesome. We also, with the way it started, got the attention of the CEO at the food bank, and so they are sending let me get her title right, her name's Bree, their Director of Brand Management and Visual Communication. They're coming in this week, and we will be featured in their paper that goes out, their newsletter that they send out with the opening. Next month we will be having a grand opening, and so y'all will be getting invites for that as well. So I hope you come to that. So it's been great. So
It's really good food too. It's like gallons of milk, fresh produce, a lot of stuff from HEB. You can tell it's like their brand food, and so it's really good. It's it's nothing that's generic, really, so to speak.
it comes from Sam's, Costco, Walmart, HEB, so pretty much the top vendors.
And the main thing we didn't want is a stigma like, oh, you know, only if you're struggling go to the food mart. No, everybody go. And I think it did. Everybody came, so that was great.
Can I go?
Except Calvin. Yeah.
Anyway,
You said it didn't last very long. Do you expect that to happen weekly, or will they send more next time? Or if
they-
it becomes a problem, will they send more?
we're working on that.
Yeah.
So, this week they increased. Usually we get 2 deliveries a month. But if we continue with the same numbers, we're asking if we can have more deliveries in a month as opposed to increasing those 2 deliveries. So we're waiting to hear. They want to see how we do on the second one and then in early January too. So we're just taking notes on that and hopefully we find out pretty soon.
Figure out how to manage it.
But they are giving us more options coming in. So this next delivery, so.
Marvelous.
Great program.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, agreement with First National.
All right, got Coach Phillips here tonight, and we've got the summary in there, Coach Hunter. We've got another lucrative deal, another local bank's wanting advertising agreement, and so Ricky, you want to go over the details of
Yes,
it?
sir. This is a 10-year sponsorship agreement with First National Bank of Central Texas. The new bank in town is for $100,000, and they wanted specifically to go as a sponsorship agreement with GHS Baseball. And so they want to pay that money up front. And they'll have an agreement with a sign on the back of the scoreboard. It'll be a 10-year deal, and at that point, they'll have first option to renew. But that's the agreement that they come up with.
So it's kind of similar to what happened with the back of the press box. They want that really good real estate as far as advertising, and so they want to be the sole owner of the back of that baseball scoreboard. But we did make sure that they'll include the wording Ryan Powell Memorial Ballpark and also Danny Lorwald Field.
Yes, sir.
So that was important too. So it has to be lit up like the other one.
Yes, sir. Has to be lit, and once that signage is done, that's when they'll make their check presentation. Once that signage is ready to go.
I'd kind of give the board a heads up because the bank needed to get it to us before the end of the calendar year for tax purposes too. So, all right.
Okay.
Have y'all done any kind of needs assessment with baseball to kind of see where this money might go?
Yes, sir. Immediate needs, they're going to cover the batting cages, add a 3rd lane on the batting cage, put some lights under it, so those can be used, early morning, later in the evenings, and during weather. Later needs will be replacing the backstop, putting up a brick or stone wall about 3 feet, and then putting netting up from there, and also replacing dugouts. And that's going to eat up quite a bit of that.
So what are you gonna do with the money left? Just keep it?
Well, there won't be any money left when it's all pretty much here.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah. Those 3 things are going to eat up.
But it will free up some money that we would have had maybe designated for baseball that could maybe go to some other things too. So.
Okay. So
At
you're
one time, I was
thinking
thinking someone said something about the warm-up, like bullpen, that for the
That's
opposing
some
team.
future things we'd like to do is slide
Okay.
those down,
So
put
that's
some
not gonna
bleachers
happen
in.
with this money?
Not with this.
Okay.
Not with this part, but that is something that we've talked with some different companies on, talked with Chase about, and that is something that we'd like to do actually at both places in the future, so, both fields.
Are all the other coaches wishing they had a part of it?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. But when they tell us this is what they want to go for,
Yeah.
then that's what we've got to spend.
And
So-
we're appreciative.
Yeah, we are, very. And it might be something, honestly, that we go back and say, hey, we would like to do something additionally someplace else. I don't mind asking. We don't mind asking. So,
And there's 2 more banks.
Good thing to
Well, yeah,
It's a very generous deal on their behalf. Sure
it's
is.
very generous and we're very thankful.
Yeah, very, especially right now.
Yeah.
We're about to talk about some more futuristic things with athletics and the field house and one thing that we had toyed with was moving baseball, if it was ever going to be closer to softball. But one thing about this location is that the advertising is so good. People want signage on that wall on 36. And so
If baseball ever moves, somebody would claim that spot, I'm sure.
Yes, yes.
Athletics.
That's right, that's right, so, but that's not in the plans right now, but that's just something that, you know, I know people have discussed that because we're kind of landlocked here, the parking's not great and different things like that, but that's something we would have to explore as far as, you know, telling how much that would cost to move a whole field. But anyway, all right, Ricky, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, additions and renovations.
So, in our long-range facility planning, we're thinking about, in about a year and a half, May of 2026, going after a bond election. And so, next up on the docket, as far as improvements, would be renovating the junior high. And so, the junior high structurally is in very good shape. The skeletal bones of it, it's just about to turn 60 years old, though. And so after 60 years of hard use, there's some things that could be improved upon it. One thing in particular about the junior high is we want to get 6th grade back over there because programmatically and from a curriculum standpoint, it's good to have those kids together. Right now, the intermediate has to run 2 different schedules. One for 4th and 5th grade, which is more of an elementary, and then one for 6th grade, which is secondary. And it's almost driven Miss Pearson mad. She's wearing a tiny hat now. And so that's one of the main reasons is to get 6th grade back to the junior high. Another big thing is we want to get a choir room, a band hall, nothing elaborate, but a choir room, a band hall, and a theater room there at junior high. So the massive amount of kids walking back and forth between the junior high and the high school is greatly reduced. And so right now, almost every period of the day, there's 120 kids walking across Marshall. So all of the locked doors and vulnerability assessments and pop-in visits from the state, worrying about locked doors, well, there are 150 kids out on Marshall Street, you know, every 40 minutes. So that's something that we're not willing to advertise in big group forums. But if somebody is balking at this as this year and a half goes forward, you need to tell them that's one of the main reasons why we're doing it, is because it's a huge safety concern. Now, along with the academic part of it, it's a 3-pronged thing that we would like to do. The other 2 things are more athletically related. Typically, athletically alone don't pass well in communities. In fact, this past November, of all the bond elections, only 30% passed. Novembers have horrible passing rates. You know why? Because everybody's worked up about presidents and governors and things like that. They're in a foul mood. And so May elections are much better. So that's why we're looking more at May of 2026. The 2 athletic things would be, one, upgrading the field house. The brick portion of the field house, that was built the second time of the high school. That was late 50s, early 60s. Charles probably remembers about when that was
Very well.
And then we would keep most of the metal buildings and use them for other things, like the big metal building where all the guys dress out now. We would probably keep that for wrestling and some different things. But we need to build a new field house that would house the boys, and we're looking at different locations. Even conceivably, Coach Hunter would like to have it behind the bleachers. So the third part of the big project would be flipping home and visitor sides. Everyone hates staring into the sun before every Friday night football game. I get that complaint pretty frequently.
And graduation.
And graduation, yeah. And so we wouldn't do anything to the current home side. We would just leave that as it is, but we would elongate the bleachers on the visitor side to make it the bigger home side, and then add a press box on that side.
Are you referring to a smaller press box than that?
Yeah, we would leave the current one alone, probably allow that to be the visitor press box or broadcasting press box, and then have the home side for our coaches. One thing from a ADA standpoint and elevators, if the press box is under 500 square feet, you don't have to have an elevator. And so what a lot of districts do is they have a 500 square or 499 square foot box, an open breezeway for videographers, and then another 499 square foot box. And so you never have to hit the requirement for the elevator. So that's one of the legal things that districts have done to try to not have to do an elevator that's always broken. The one that we have currently is always broken, and even when it works, sometimes you get trapped in it. Somebody got trapped in it, I think years ago, didn't they, Ricky? Oh, we were all in it. I've got bad memories for Charles. Yeah.
Last time till the end of the third quarter.
Yeah. That was a hard night for me. So anyway, these are some of the very preliminary things that we're thinking about, but we wanted to go ahead and as 2024 is wrapping up, know that in 2026, there's a lot of work though that has to go in between now and May of 26. Preliminary work to go to the voters and ask them for that. Lots of focus groups, lots of talking with friends, and even getting some cost estimates. They may come back and there may be some things that we can't do because it's just utterly too expensive. Or they may have a way of doing it more cost effectively. But I think that three-pronged package might be well received by people. We'll just have to kind of wait and see. Any thoughts, Calvin?
Yes, you were talking about junior high. Did you mention the fact that you're going to expand by making some more classrooms? And
Yes.
what about the auditorium and
Yes.
the cafeteria? You're going to have to enlarge
Yeah,
them.
so that's a good point, Calvin. So first of all, the additional classrooms to get sixth grade back over here would probably be back there towards, right now this is the only campus that has those sorry portable buildings. So we have 2 of them, trailer houses out there that need to be disposed of and good real estate for classrooms. Plus, we need to connect the Mary Bishop gym to the main campus. Right now it's disconnected. And so that's not a good safety thing. The restrooms in the junior high need to be renovated. This was pre-ADA. I know for a fact that they cannot accommodate wheelchair-bound people. Too narrow. Can't get through the front door of the restroom. And so there's a lot of things that we need to update. The junior high electrical grid on the side of that building, that big monstrosity of wires and things, there's actually a hot wire that if a bird perches on it, you hear this great big huge gunshot sound. The bird falls to the ground dead, and it knocks the electricity out of several different areas in the district. We've had that happen twice now.
If you look real close, the insulation on that wiring is off.
Yeah. And so that's
And it's been that way several years.
that's an infrastructure thing that's not good. It reminds me of the field house. When I first got back here, the electrical wires were not grounded correctly, and the boys would get in the showers and it would shock them.
Yeah, we need to.
No
fix
joke.
that.
No joke. Now, we fixed that. Toby left, but he did fix that promptly. But that's just case in point of how terrible those facilities are. The ceiling in the field, well, y'all visited there last summer, I think. Remember how there's this big bubble, and every time it rains, pieces of the roof or the ceiling tiles fall onto the floor. And so it's in bad shape. But back to Calvin's point, if you've been in the junior high auditorium, it's that old-timey seating, extremely uncomfortable, wooden, cramped rows of seating. We would need to make the cafeteria larger to accommodate the 3 grade levels. So there's just some things that can be done, I think, to really help improve that campus. It's kind of like the high school. It's about ready for a change. Any other thoughts on that? So we wanted to start with our first informational item to get it out there. Gatesville Messenger can pick it up. People can start asking questions, but that's kind of the very first rattle out of the box of what we'd like to do and where we'd like to go with it. In 2028, we'll also pay off another one of the big bonds from the elementary. And so that's another good piece of timing in that 26, 27, 28 time frame. All right. Did I leave anything out? Okay. We're excited about it.
I'm excited about moving that home side because, you know,
Yeah.
Thursday night, Gatesville people are on.
Yeah. Yeah, we've already switched for all the sub-varsity games. And the visitors are like, they know to go to the home side because they will be in the sun. So.
You think we're gonna lose our wonderful tower water cooler? That building has smelled exactly the same since it was open.
Yeah, that's true. Mary Ann, what do you
I
say?
was wondering, you said the field house would go under the visitor side now, but.
Yes, ma'am.
That's a pretty good
No, that's
idea.
what we're looking at. Of course, we gotta talk to people first and kind of, we walked around a lot with Dr. Paul and everybody, but if we could put it right there and then somehow keep it like a catwalk or something, the high school is my vision for it, so then the guys can run out without the weather and everything.
Right.
And try to connect all the buildings, weight room, all that, try to be connected somehow with that real estate, but I don't know if it'll work or not.
Is there a way to make the team come out in the middle of the field?
I've actually brought that up. Yeah, I'm sure you can get pretty pricey, but have the press box at the top. I mean, we can do a lot. Whatever y'all want to do, I'm doing. But I thought that would be pretty neat too to do that. But I don't know if I think we're gonna try to keep the current visitor bleachers. But I mean, we can always see.
By the way, congratulations on a great season.
Thank you.
Yes.
Appreciate it. It ain't me, I promise you. There's a lot of coaches and players in the good team.
We know that.
Thanks, guys.
Aaron, then pass it on
You know.
to your players and your coaches that
Yes,
we're
ma'am.
very proud of
Yes,
their
ma'am.
efforts
Thank you.
and
It
their
was.
success.
It was a lot of fun.
In a few short sentences, what are we looking at for next year?
We just now started
We're
talking
getting
about
spoiled.
That, so. Yeah, we're graduating 28 seniors, which is going to be tough.
Yeah.
But also, our numbers are good, and we got some good young talent. So we're going to go to work. And excited for what basketball is going to do, baseball and track. I think we're about to put forth a really, really successful athletic season through those boys. So excited for what we're doing.
And your linemen, when you talk about those linemen, if you compared those linemen to the others, they were small.
Ray,
You said a big
Ray
guy.
Sean weighs about 15 more pounds than Jared Burks did. So Jared was blocking for him all year, but Ray Sean weighed more than he did. So,
I think the biggest one was we know.
Yes.
Mr. Paul.
I'd like to make this comment to the fact that you talk about the program with what y'all are doing.
Yes, sir.
When you are playing two or three teams in 7th grade, 8th grade, 2 teams as freshmen, 2 teams are JV, you're building your program and you're going to fill those slots a whole lot easier than what we had years ago.
Yes, sir.
Because you're keeping kids in the program, and that's great.
Appreciate that.
And you're building a solid program.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, and Aaron, I know the overall feel of high school is different. They seem to care about each other and the different sports and supporting each other. And I think that comes a lot from your leadership.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. That comes from
And you know,
Yes,
Yeah,
and
it's not too
Ricky,
bad.
always Ricky.
Yes, ma'am.
and I was just complimenting Phillips because he's everywhere. Every sporting event, he travels here and travels there.
Y'all got bigger things to talk about.
All right, so that was a big item. So let
Okay,
it be duly noted, that's kind of on the docket. So we'll keep periodically updating you guys with what, in fact, one of the architects that we know real well for free is gonna walk around with me in January and look at some things and just give us some ideas on what we might be able to do.
okay.
All righty, Rochester Roots.
All right, thank you guys. Righteous Roots, Melanie Webb, longtime partner, great organization. Felicia Inman and a lot of those people that work there are great people. And we need to sign a new MOU. It's been a while since we've signed an MOU with them, and they sent it to me, and I was like, sure. But they've been doing new addiction counseling and anger management counseling and a lot of different things to where good things for our kids. And so they serve all of Coryell County, adults and children. And they've got them really, like I said, Felicia's very highly educated and professional and good at what she does. And so it's neat what they do, relationship courses, financial abuse classes, cyber classes, just a lot of good things. And they also help with food and clothing and, you know, people that are hurting as well. So I would recommend that we approve the MOU with Righteous Roots. It's no cost to us, and just let them keep that partnership going as we have in years past.
Any further discussion? Do I hear a motion? Linda? Second? Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor? All right. Cafeteria Intermediate.
At the last meeting, I informed you that we were going to go out for bids to upgrade the intermediate cafeteria serving line, and we opened the bids on December 11th. We only received 2 bids, but Douglas Equipment submitted a bid for $80,631 and some change. That was about $32,000 less than the other bid that was submitted. So it says on the action item that pending USDA approval, we would like to use these funds from 241. It's not 199 funds, it's that cafeteria fund that we have to spend down. And we've already actually received USDA approval. They were pretty quick on this, and we had to reach out to them because we only got the 2 bids instead of the 3 they required. And unless I'm wrong, let me know. That's we received approval from them. So now, if you approve, then we'll get started on this project. But it's my recommendation to the board to accept the bid from Douglas Equipment to complete this or start this project. If you have any questions,
Is there a motion?
I have a question.
Yes,
Where is this Douglas Equipment?
Ooh, they were from out of state.
West Virginia.
Yeah,
Oh.
and we're just getting modules. Like they're just sending us the equipment, and we will do
Right.
the
Yeah,
installation.
okay.
So yeah, but
And we used them last year also. They got equipment for us last year.
Oh, okay.
yeah, they weren't local. That was odd to me too.
The other company was local. They were out of Plano, but they were 32,000 higher.
Okay. And y'all were happy with the work they did?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, Mary Ann makes a motion. Do I hear a second? Okay, Cheyenne seconds. Do I hear a third? No, I'm just kidding. Any further discussion? All in favor? All right.
Thank you.
Board goals.
Last one, we recently had our team of 8 training, and one thing that they always like for us to do afterwards is to go ahead and revisit our goals. And our 5 district goals, I've got up here on the board, but basically it's 5 of the most major important areas of school business. And I didn't know if y'all wanted me to tweak any of that. It seems to me like it's still pretty timely and appropriate. One thing that we may look at is the portrait of a graduate that we made a few years ago. I think that we may need to add something under the technology aspect about AI. So AI is becoming such an important part of education and just society in general that we're going to have to address that at some point. We do have rules concerning AI for the student body with regard to plagiarism and cheating. And it's not that it's banned per se, but you better cite it if you're going to use it. You better get permission from the teacher if you're going to use it. And so we're just now kind of introducing some tools to the teachers as well as how to use AI. In years past, there was this thing called Teacher Pay Teacher that allows teachers to go on and pay money to get different ideas from other teachers. And really, I feel like that AI is going to destroy that enterprise because you can go into AI, type in what you need, and it pops it out for free. And so I think our students are going to have some understanding of AI too before they leave high school as the years tick by. One of the main things being discerning what is real and what is fake. And that's going to be very difficult because AI is good at making things that are fake look real. And so, but all of these other things here don't necessarily, like I said, that was more portrait of a graduate, but this is safety, discipline, attendance, literacy, curriculum, some technology and PD, finances and facilities, and people focused.
So you think that everything's pretty well said?
I think it encapsulates pretty much everything. Like I said, the one thing that's kind of on the horizon that's new would be AI.
Yeah.
That we might need to, we're gonna have to address it. So, looking through that, do y'all want me to tweak anything, add anything? Are you good with those 5? Y'all spent quite a bit of time on those a few years ago, and they seem to be pretty good. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they're good.
So that's a voting item?
So I would just recommend then that since there's no changes, that we just approve the goals as is. And that way we will review them again in another year. We review them annually. So if something pops up, we can always change or add it later.
And the portrait, are you going to work on that?
I'm going to work on that.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a a section on technology, and I think we need to add something about AI.
Okay, do I hear a motion to accept this goal report? Okay, Lloyd, second. Linda, any further discussion? All in favor? Got it. It's 6:10, we're adjourned.